In America, we all pay taxes. It's a fact of life. But have you ever taken a really close look at your tax bill? Let's take a look together and see how it affects you at the most local level. Property taxes are the single largest revenue stream for city and county governments in the state of Florida. But did you know that in each one of these counties, you pay several other taxing authorities? In fact, the city of Port St. Lucie only accounts for about 22% of your property tax bill. For many Port St. Lucie property owners, this is how it breaks down. Before we go any further, there's a few terms you'll see on your tax bill that aren't quite in our regular, everyday vocabulary. A property tax bill is based off ad valorem tax. Ad valorem is Latin for according to value, and it is applied annually to the property you own, as opposed to special assessments, which are levied for a specific purpose, or sales tax or gas tax, which are levied at the time the transaction is made. Because city government is closest to most people, many assume the city controls most of their tax bill. In reality, that assumption is completely incorrect. As we said before, the city's portion is less than a quarter of your overall bill. Ad valorem taxes are levied by several agencies, including the school district, fire district, county, and cities. These taxing authorities are responsible for setting ad valorem millage rates. There's another term that we don't use every day. The millage rate is essentially your property tax rate, or the rate of tax per $1,000 of taxable value. Now that we've covered the basics, let's cover the tax bill. Ad valorem taxes, or in short, your property tax, is paid at the beginning of the fiscal year. Ad valorem taxes are based on the value of a homeowner's property. Every year, the county property appraiser issues an assessed value for your home. That, minus exemptions, makes up your taxable value. Let's quickly talk about those exemptions. A major exemption in Florida is the homestead exemption, which is up to $50,000 on a primary residence. There are also property tax discounts based on age, disability, or veteran status. Florida's Save Our Homes provision allows you to transfer all or significant portion of your tax benefit, up to $500,000, from a home with a homestead exemption to a new home within the state that also qualifies for the exemption. When you hear about a similar house to yours having a completely different tax bill, it's usually because of these exemptions and benefits. For the purpose of this video, we will assess a homeowner here in Port St. Lucie with an assessed value of $200,000. We will subtract the homestead exemption of $50,000. Now, the total taxable value of this particular home is $150,000. To calculate the property tax, you divide the total taxable value by $1,000, or 1 mil, and then multiply by the millage rate. As we said before, the city of Port St. Lucie is just one part of the matrix. These are the agencies that set the millage rates in St. Lucie County. Here's how they break down. In this example, the tax bill for this homeowner is just under $4,325 based on these millage rates. Some tax bills also include special assessments, which are yearly fees paid through a tax bill, such as your solid waste assessment for waste and recycling. Once the city collects its portion, we divvy it up between our individual departments that put the money back into our community through city services, improvements, and enhancements for our residents' quality of life. One of the City Council's top priorities has been to continue to lower the portion of the tax bill that we can control. If you look closely at the city's portion of the tax bill, you will see the city's millage rate has steadily decreased for the past 9 years. But please keep in mind, if your property value has increased, or if any of the other taxing authorities change their rates, your tax bill will change from year to year. In Port St. Lucie, the City Council and staff are working hard to continue to decrease the millage rate. For more information and to learn more about how your Port St. Lucie tax dollars are allocated, visit cityofpsl.com/taxes.